The mobile phone has 256 gigabytes of memory, enough to store 12,000 photos, about 2,000 videos, mostly short, and several dozen applications. This is an external drive, about the same size, but the memory capacity is already 4 times larger. 17 moments of spring in good quality can be recorded here approximately 300 times. And from our Philistine point of view, it may seem that this is a large amount of information placed very compactly, but really big data is stored completely differently in a world where information has become almost the main product. There is a lack of shelves, more precisely server cabinets. Data centers, which house thousands of racks of equipment, are becoming as important a part of infrastructure as the power plants that power them. There is so much information in each data center that the scale of the facility is not even measured by traffic, but by the amount of energy it consumes, where there are really large capacities in the nuclear industry. Rosatom has been developing its own network of data centers for several years. There is enough energy and infrastructure capacity for both its enterprises and third-party clients. Both public and private companies come. Some bring their equipment and some choose cloud infrastructure.
These are companies that today deal with issues of sustainability and sovereignty in a broad sense of the word. You can probably call them giants or pioneers of the country's economy. These are those who have quite complex business processes, who today it is important to integrate heterogeneous businesses. And for them, cloud infrastructure services are an opportunity to connect their various platform histories in one place to manage individual types of business.
The pilot project was implemented 6 years ago in Udomla. The data processing center is located near the Kalinin nuclear power plant. Here, the power units are clearly visible from the roof of one of the buildings. Moreover, the SOD is part of the nuclear power plant circuit. This means that security measures have been increased here. Like the station itself, the data processing center is located in a no-fly zone. Kalininsky is one of the largest data centers in Europe, 48 megawatts of power. It is equally easy to get to from Moscow and St. Petersburg by highway or high-speed train. And proximity to the nuclear power plant ensures not only safety, this data center is powered by the Kalinin nuclear power plant. And due to economies of scale, the conditions for consumers of data center services, especially large ones, are very attractive. The Kalininsky data center itself needs a small server to store and process its own information. SODA does not know what tasks clients rent capacity for. Their scale can only be guessed by the amount of energy consumed by the dedicated equipment.
An ordinary warehouse in which accounting is kept simply as a commodity of values can consist of only one server, which simply stores this list and performs operations for receiving goods and writing of issues. Go further and automate the distribution system in the warehouse, the movement of robots, then it may take several racks or even a small SODIC will have to be built for this.
Another data center, which is preparing for opening, was built in the special economic zone Inopolis. This is one of the key platforms for the development of Russian IT technologies. In the Volga Federal District, this will be the largest data center, 16 megawatts of power. The second stage is only being built, but the first with 8 megawatts or 1,000 server racks will start operating very soon. The data center is erected, as they say, in an open field on the principle of greenfield, when the site becomes a site that has never been used before. For example, from Kazan, from here to the center of the capital of the Republic, 40 kilometers specially stretched fiber.
Naturally, we looked at the customer market interest, large industrial enterprises, the public sector, private business, and the monopoly itself is a forge of, say, new enterprises, startups that are very interested. They need such computing resources.
And the data center is ready to provide its resources not only to business. The facility in Innopolis had not yet been completed when Rosatom specialists deployed a test cloud environment and provided computing power to universities in Tatarstan. Young scientists from Kazan Federal University, who conducts research at the Department of Design of New Materials and Machine Learning, previously had to go to Moscow and wait 2-3 weeks for the results of calculations.
We reduced the research to 2 days, in fact. And there we conducted the first calculations in the world based on palladium cobalt alloys, on the basis of which nanoelements that are used in the production of quantum computers are created. That is, they successfully defended this research at the forum in Chernogolovka. The Russian Academy of Sciences confirmed this research and published a high ranking in the journal. We accordingly act as infrastructure partners.
The new data center is 80% import substituted. Russia also produced the most important nodes. These are uninterruptible power sources. In case of disconnection from the network, they will provide the equipment with energy for the time until the backup diesel generator and cooling machines, chillers, are launched. Each server produces an impressive amount of heat, and the issue of hot air removal when creating any data center is one of the most important in the design. Innopolis supplied 16 powerful devices, which the manufacturer adapted specifically for this object.
According to our technical specifications, factory tests were carried out. We took part in them, and new models of chillers were built, which, strictly speaking, are used here.
The new data processing and storage center of the Moskva 2 project, which is also preparing to open, has a large capacity, 36 megawatts. It will be possible to place more than 3,500 racks with servers, which means that the cooling system is needed even more powerful than that of colleagues in Innopolis. On the roof of the new capital facility, 72 chillers were installed at once. Chillers, units by no means quiet, and a few dozen meters from the object are residential buildings. And of course, the topic of sound insulation has become a separate story. These panels were installed in 2 rows. They not only have a perforated surface, there is also soundproofing material inside, but these panels were specially installed at an angle so that the noise goes away from residential buildings. This is the first data center in Russia, built according to the highest reliability standard TR4. It implies many solutions that will never stop its operation. One of them is power redundancy. There are only about 70 centers worldwide with this level of fault tolerance.
With the commissioning of this facility, we will more than triple our own engineering infrastructure. And we plan to firmly establish ourselves in the top 5 companies leaders of the data center market. Currently, the volume of our infrastructure is 1680 racks of places. With the commissioning of the data center D9 Moskva 2 as well as Inopolis, the total volume will be 6570 racks.
In this data center, their servers will be placed companies, those associated with critical information infrastructure, that is enterprises, energy and industry sectors, banks, high-tech companies. Rosatom plans to place part of its systems responsible for managing power facilities here, and therefore it is impossible to exaggerate the importance of uninterruptible power supply for its operation. This data center is powered by city grids, backup source, diesel generators, and this part of the facility is responsible for a seamless transition, the uninterruptible power supply source.
Here, for example, the electricity will be cut off before we start guaranteed diesel power. Everything will go to the UPS and directly to the lithium batteries, on which the equipment will be able to work for about 10 more minutes before starting guaranteed power.
Advanced solutions of engineers are used both in computer technology and in ensuring information security, and in general, the development of information infrastructure based on Russian technologies is part of a large-scale work to strengthen technological sovereignty.
We are now discussing with a number of countries the construction of data centers near our nuclear power plant. After all, one of the key elements of the reliability of a data center is the reliability of power supply. Therefore, the placement of data centers near a nuclear power plant allows to provide this issue with the highest level of reliability.
With the development of artificial intelligence technologies, the volume of information and calculations will grow exponentially, which means that we can say with confidence that more and more such data processing and storage factories will appear.